Now, while the meringue is cooking, while the lemon curd is cooling, and the lemon curd will set a little bit more as it cools. So while that's all happening, I'm going to make the chocolate and marmalade and hazelnut cake. I've got a few different things ready for this. One thing is a little bit of chocolate I've been melting over a saucepan of simmering water. There's 175 grams of chocolate and the same weight of butter in there, and they have both just melted together. Next thing I'm going to do is just whiz up some hazelnuts. And I'm going to make ground hazelnuts. You can use ground almonds for this recipe. The hazelnut, the flavour of the hazelnut just is quite nice for a change. But there's nothing to stop you, oh sorry I was supposed to do something, nothing to stop you using ground almonds instead. And I just remember that Trish, you told me earlier that with the Magimix,
with any food processor, you actually should put the blade on and then put things through the funnel onto the blade, because otherwise they can get lodged underneath the blade and cause the blade to burn, or the motor to burn out. So you always pour things onto the blade.
Okay.
For making mayonnaise.
I learned that this morning. Wow. Sorry, Magimix, I hope I don't. Well, actually, my Magimix has never burnt out, so I've been very lucky.
But it is so much easier when you're doing something like even breadcrumbs. Just drop them in, otherwise it gets stuck underneath the blades.
Good point. Okay. Now, I'll also, where are the whisks from the race? I'm also going to whisk up while the hazelnuts are mixing up there. I'm just going to whisk up some egg yolks. I've got 5 egg yolks and 175 grams of sugar here. These recipes, by the way, are all in the free BBC Good Food guides to the show,
which are all available around the perimeter of the actual show area, so you can just pick them up.
So I just want to mix up the egg yolks and the sugar here. A few different little elements to this dish. You know what, I would love these again if I could. They're jumping in the front row here. So, the chocolate and the butter's there, the egg yolks and the sugar. I'm just going to whisk up these egg whites into the marmalade. That's a bit of egg white, that's fine. I'm going to add, or into rather, the egg yolks and sugar. I'm going to add 200 grams of marmalade, orange marmalade. And it just gives this, you can add some grated orange zest as well if you like, but this marmalade is quite nice and zesty, I've noticed. So it gives it a really lovely orange zestiness. And that's about, say, half a jar, a little bit under half a jar of orange marmalade. So the egg yolks and the sugar, the marmalade, it all gets thrown together with the chocolate and the butter. Basically, all the ingredients get mixed together for this. And then I'm just going to whisk up the egg whites. So I've separated 5 eggs.
There's some very wise or unwise people down here.
You just arrived. You hadn't seen me splashing. Excuse me. Okay, so this lovely, rich, chocolatey mixture. A little size. This cake is rich. This cake will serve about 8 to 10 people easily because it is really quite rich. It's quite dense, almost moussey, really quite moist in texture. Where's the meringue actually? Can I just have a little look? Because I need to use this one.
Oh, a little bit longer.
Okay. So I'm going to whisk up these egg whites and I can get this cake into the oven.
So this particular Magimix is great because, as I said, it's one of those most flexible things that you ever can have in the kitchen. It chops, it makes dough, it makes pastries, it makes cakes, it grinds, it slices, it does all the household slavey things in the kitchen.
Practically pours your glass of wine for you.
I wish.
Practically.
So this particular one is the granddad of them all, and then we've got the little tiny mini ones. So
I think this was very cute.
And it's chops.
Lemony
It's got 2 different levels, so you can chop and you can whisk and you can do everything that you particularly want, but it does it evenly and it does it quickly.
So the cake, I can either pour the egg whites into the chocolate or the other way around. And you don't have to be too careful with this. I'm going to fold it in, but you don't have to be absolutely particular to kind of fold with a sharp metal spoon or something like you do with some recipes. Fold the egg whites with all the chocolate, sugar, butter, marmalade, egg yolks, all in there. I've got the cake tin prepared here. You could use a 20 centimeter cake tin. This is about a 23 centimeter cake tin, which is perfect. It's been just greased and buttered around the sides and the inside, and the base has been lined with a disco parchment paper.
So you've got a couple of cookery books, haven't you?
Yeah, I do. The bake one, which is the latest out, that's the 5th one actually.
Is it?
Yeah. So it's kind of baking was something I always wanted to do, or I always wanted to write a book on, because it was the first kind of cooking I ever did, like so many children, you know, baking at home. So it's really, just love it. I love it. Got to say, when testing the recipes for it over that 8, 9, 10 months at home, I did notice my jeans kind of getting a bit tighter, and the children just thought it was just Christmas every day. You know, we were making cakes.
And there's no excuses.
Making cakes and biscuits every day, and I had to because it was work. But you see, the thing is, I was like my husband, who would cut a little sliver of something and taste it, and yeah, that's good, or I think we need to put more of this in, or more of this in. I can't just have the sliver. That's it. I would have the piece, and then I hate wasting food. So we did, you know, a lot of neighbours and friends benefited from giving things away, but a lot of them I kept.
And to actually buy your book, you can go over to the Taste of Ireland stand?
Yes, I'm doing a signing at the Taste of Ireland stand. I did a signing earlier at the Book People stand, but I'm at the Taste of Ireland stand straight after this demonstration. It's just
over there.
Just there. I'm doing a quick book signing there, and then doing a demonstration at the British Theatre at 3:20.
But the thing is about this book, it's great. It's got lovely illustrations. Not only has it got lovely illustrations, they're easy to do recipes. The terminology is easy, and it's easy to understand, which some chefs is very complex. But this isn't. It's so easy.
It has to be, really, doesn't it? You know, otherwise, well, I mean, lots of books are a bit more complicated and lovely just to look at and browse through. But I want it to be a book that is, you know, user-friendly.
That's right.
The meringue is just ready. Phew! Actually, do you mind making that? Thanks, Trish. I think they did bring in some tin foil. Our kitchen fairies, they did.
They did indeed.
We have got 2 kitchen fairies in the back here behind this wall. We've got Anna and James, and they have just started. They have just started studying. They're going to be chefs in. Hold on, what's the university called? And I need to. They've only started 2 months ago, and they're getting all the ingredients ready, and they're being fantastic.
It's University College Birmingham, and they are incredibly hard-working. And the poor guys out back here, you know, they really didn't know what hit them.
That's interesting. Yeah, sorry, I'm talking about Anna and James. What's in this magic mix? Ground hazelnuts for what? The cake.
We could make marzipan with them instead.
Thank you. I was just checking to see if you were paying attention. Okay.
It was a trick.
Do you know, it was a trick consoling when it happens to other people, isn't it?
It's going to be a really gorgeous cake. It's going to be chocolate and marmalade cake. I fear it's going to be probably quite moussey in texture because there are no nuts in there. Luckily, I've got a slice of one that I made earlier to serve. Yeah, I just basically just did that just to check who is, oh sorry, hot, who is keeping an eye. No, I didn't. I forgot to put the hazelnuts in the cake. And let's see how that cake, it'll be interesting. I think it might be moussey. Moussey. Oh, yeah.
Lovely.
Lovely. You're like a slice of cake. So, you know what I would do? Actually, if I was at home, I would, and I'm going to do it quickly now because I have to wait for this to cool for a second anyway. It's not going to be very elegant. I would take the cake out of the oven and I'd stir them in, and that's what I'm going to do. Thank you. Could I put this on a rack or something just so it cools?
Yep. Certainly can.
Right. So I always put the cake into the oven for 2 minutes, and then I take it out, and I stir in the ground hazelnuts. Actually, that looks quite nice. That might.
And your next trick?
Well, luckily, this is a cake that is kind of supposed to be quite dense and moussey. But I think if we fold it in like this, I think we'll be absolutely fine.
Would you like me to do that for you?
No, it's okay. Thank you. I'm sure this will, you know, make
Be fine.
give it a wonderful texture. So cook the cake in the oven for 2 minutes, take it out, throw in the hazelnuts. Right, there we go. Hazelnuts in. Is there anything else? No, there isn't. That's the cook's part. Thanks, Trish.
The great thing about a good chef is actually not to be foiled by anything like this if it happens. If it does, and then you can work your way out of it.
The great thing about a good chef is you remember to put all the ingredients in the beginning.
It's like, you know, making a sauce and how you actually rectify it if it goes
That is true.
lumpy.
You do need to get yourself out of situations. And it's funny, people are often asking me, so, you know, what embarrassing has happened to you in demonstrations. And I always say, I'm pretty lucky actually. Yeah, no, it's always been fine. I think this will probably go down in the record book.